Hello everyone, it is AD with Cosmostrology and I'm going to be doing your pick a card reading. So this is our, I guess, kind of final-ish video of this week for past life karmas. But today we are going to be specifically looking at love. So this is a 18 plus reading, not necessarily because the messages will be sexy, but because I am using the sexy deck. You understand what I'm saying? So we're in this. Let's dig into it, guys. We're going to be asking about your past life relationships, what your past life love tongue twister, what your past life love relationship issues kind of consisted of. Then we'll be looking at how it affects you in your current love life, and then we'll also be looking at advice and how to overcome these obstacles. So I am leaving it pretty open-ended. Some of you will hear about, you know, you were single. Others of you might hear about a specific person. So just remain open as you meditate on these decks. I'm hoping that the right message will find you guys. I just want to say thank you and continue thanking you for your support here at Cosmostrology as we're building and growing and expanding. Thank you for every like. Thank you for every share and subscription. Thank you guys for participating in the polls. We have an exciting week coming up next week, depending on when you catch this video. We are focusing on marriage and spouses. So this past week, if you're watching this in real time, we did past lives. So we're going to do some future stuff next week. So it'll be a lot of fun. And I hope that this helps you clear some of that energy. So without any further ado, guys, take a moment, meditate. We have pile 1 here, pile 2, pile 3, and we're going to look at the meaning of those cards. So I will meet you over at your decks. Again, thank you so much for joining me. And don't forget to check out that description box. You get so much information about other places to find me. So let's go ahead and slide to the left. Hold on. Slide to the right. Bring it back now, y'all. Okay, so we are going to move into pile number 1. Hello, pile number 1, people. It is AD with Cosmostrology, and I'm going to be doing your pick a card reading. So today we are specifically looking at your past life love relationships and your past life love karma and how that affects you today. So this is an 18 plus reading. Again, not necessarily because the reading is sexy, but because I am using my sexy decks. So just be aware of that. And yeah, just be aware that it might not be the sexiest reading. It really is trying to help you know where you come from so then you can build on to where you go. And if you've been with this past life thing, you've noticed a lot of themes of collection. So we're specifically looking at love, but I really highly recommend that you watch all the other past life readings that I do so you can really get an overall context of who you are and what you're working with. Because one of the really cool things about all the past life stuff is people have been pointing out, yo, this is like my current life, or yo, this is so similar. So yeah, so let's look into it, guys. Without any further ado, I've just been so fascinated with this past life stuff recently. So I am yomping on about it, but let's look into it. So this is specifically going to be your love. So here we're starting off with the 4 of Cups. So I've imagined that your love life, with the 4 of Cups being that card, there's been a lot of dissatisfaction. So let's see if we can look into why. So give me a second while I shuffle pile 1. So with the 4 of Cups there, yeah, it does symbolize that there could be some dissatisfaction. I am being drawn to that fish, so you might have Pisces energy, Pisces in relationship spaces, Pisces in the 7th house, Pisces in the 11th house, Pisces in your 1st house, Pisces in your 3rd. So that might not resonate with everyone, but for some of you it could. So let's look at, what was your past life love issues overall? We're starting off with the Empress. Okay, so I'm getting that well, I see why there was dissatisfaction. If you're popping off as the Empress off the rip, you carried and garnered a lot of power, and people probably couldn't amount to it. The 8 of Wands. Okay, let's see. So what were some past life love issues? That's a lot of cards, so I'm gonna keep shuffling. The Judgment card to the Chariot. So guys, of course, if you've been following your number 1, what do we know about your past lives? You traveled and moved a lot, and I feel like that affected your love life directly. And if you're just catching this reading, then or you're picking another pile, you definitely were always constantly on the move. The 8 of Swords. So double 8. So I do feel like you have come into this lifetime to specifically resolve overall karmic issues. The 5 of Wands here. Whoa, the 8 again. The 8 of Cups. The Knight of Cups. and the Magician card here. And so this card tried to like sneak out, pop out the Queen of Pentacles. All right, just reiterating. And then we have the Nine of Wands at the bottom of the deck. You were very difficult to please. And I don't mean that in like your standards were too high. I just feel like you were a person who carried a lot and garnered a lot of authority, with the Empress being the first card out. Not only were you somebody who had a lot of power, I do feel like you had a lot of competition over you. And so you had many options. So you'll probably find that in this lifetime too. Of course, we're going to look into how this affects you today. But in your past life, I'm certainly feeling like you sat in a position of power. And that led to two different things, right? So when you were in this position of power, you really had to be focused on if people were genuinely trying to get to know you, or if people just wanted something from you. I feel like that was a theme that followed you in your past life. And I also get to, interestingly enough, there might have been some serious age differences between you and the people who pursued you. So I feel like there's a young energy. So you were like definitely a cougar in a past life, and I'm reading for the feminine right now. I will switch over to the masculine, but regardless of how it manifests, definitely age differences here. You know what I'm seeing? This is so funny. Okay, so with this Eight of Cups, I do feel like some past love life issues, you were just dissatisfied in your love life. So if you can see here, there's this person who's like looking over, this older person, and then she's having a fling, an affair with a younger person. I feel like that happened to you. You would get into these relationships with people who you're probably supposed to marry. So let's say that you were queen. So you had to marry your brother or whatever, or you had to marry your uncle in order to be property, but your heart just longed elsewhere. So I imagine that in past lives, you definitely had your affairs. I feel like fights broke out over you by younger and older people because I feel like you had responsibilities and obligations, but at the same time, you liked adventures and you liked to kind of be on the move with all this Wand and Chariot energy. You kind of went wherever life took you. Like I said, I do feel like you had a lot of control. The one thing that I can say, and from your past life and your love issues, right? So this is the issue, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but you definitely had a lot of power in your past lives, and you were able to manipulate it, or with the kind of the what is this? The Magician card here. I really do feel like you had a lot of power and you manipulated quite a few situations. Here's why we're going to move into like how it affects your current love life. But I do get this energy to say, if you're low vibing in this life or in your past, you really had a way of being able to manipulate the masculines around you. I do think that there was this energy, especially with this Cancer energy here, you were able to really kind of play on people's emotional strings. So maybe you have Lilith in Cancer, Lilith in Pisces, Lilith in, maybe not necessarily Lilith in Scorpio. Yeah, probably you could have Lilith in Scorpio also. Guys, please remember I do subscribe to Vedic, so my placements might be a little bit different. But I definitely feel like you had the emotional manipulation thing on lock, and so you were able to kind of cry. Like if it was like if you were going with some young man. Oh my gosh. You know what? I just got Jada Pinkett Smith and freaking Will Smith. Oh my gosh. And the whole entanglement. Bruh, they got that from your past love life. I just feel like you would end up with these situations. You had somebody who provided for you. You had a lot of power. You would go run off, kind of do like these little escapades with these young, dashing men who were definitely pursuing you, Knight of Cups. So I think that you were, hot tamale, no matter how old you were. And then your significant other would bust in and find out, and then you'll be like, oh my gosh, I don't know how that happened. And you orchestrated the entire situation. So I am definitely getting some Gemini energy from you also. But again, it did stem from some sort of insecurity. So we're also going to look into that, of course. With the Eight of Swords being the heart of reading, so you being the heart of the reading. So you were definitely Empress, you had a lot of power, but with the Eight of Swords being the heart, you didn't necessarily feel that way. So I do feel like you went through your relationships, particularly with younger people, seeking validation, the Queen of Wands here. But there still was an innocence about you, but you definitely had your fill. I do think that you had quite a bit of relationships. You had quite a few people who were fighting you after you, but regardless, even if it was a young person, you were dissatisfied because you were like, you're young, you can't provide my lifestyle, like you can't really keep up with me. So, this is fun, but you're not my husband. So I really do get that kind of red table talk, the Nine of Wands coming out. And it was definitely a defense mechanism. You felt like you had to protect yourself. The Lovers here, the World card. And let's get one more. Just any more Spirit would like to know about your last love life, the Four of Pentacles. So even though the Fool is here, I was just about to say, I just feel like you were restricted. The Queen of Cups at the bottom of the deck. You were certainly restricted, and I feel like your relationships definitely played out in fantasies. Like, I don't feel you fully put your energies into your relationships, because we have the Fool here, which represents freedom, but it's being clarified by the Four of Pentacles. And in this Four of Pentacles, you know, notice how it's focused on money. I feel like you were focused on your security overall. So, you know, these little boys and all this other stuff, they were cute. It was fun. It was nice while it lasted. But at the same time, like, that's not your man's. You know, you still had to keep whatever this empire was running. So it would be like if we found out, you know, Beyonce had her string of affairs. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you had to keep your business running. But I do think that you encountered a lot of others with this World card to the Lovers. I just feel like you definitely had a lot of people that felt very strongly tied to you and connected to you. But you probably did not feel connected to them because you constantly had to move on. You weren't really able to fully develop any of these younger relationships that were very passionate, right? The Queen of Wands, super passionate, but not fulfilling financially is kind of what I'm hearing, at least for like these issues in your past life. But you definitely had a very active and vibrant love life, pile one. So you might have that same kind of energy come in this lifetime. So you have to let me know if that's if that still resonates, but you were certainly very active in your past lifetime. And don't you forget it. So now we're going to look at how it affects your current love life. Ooh, my nose is like really irritating me. Oh, you know what? You know, our noses. I was like, yeah, you were very manipulative. So you were definitely, with my nose itching like that, I feel like you were not opposed to telling tall tales to the masculine, to different people. You definitely kept the fantasy going. You would, yeah, you just had no issue. Wow, the Emperor, that's so funny. So we had the Empress, the first card. Now we have the Emperor. So how does this love life affect you now? Temperance. I am getting with this Temperance card second. It's just like you're really having to learn how to trust. What is this? The Knight of Cups being represented here. Yeah, let's see. Let's keep going. How does this energy affect you in your current love relationships? The Tower card. In the Heart, the Hermit. I feel like you're on the outside looking in of your relationships. You don't really feel in your relationships. I don't think that you felt in your relationships in your past lives. And again, when you cross-reference this with the life that you led, if you know, with the other past lives, I just felt like you had to be the person that you were married to, you were obligated to. But everybody else, again, it happened in fantasy. So that's really where you're most comfortable with exploring your relationships, is really in your imagination a lot, especially with the Hermit. You know, see, he's on the outside looking in. I do feel like it affects you because you feel like love missed you, like you don't have love. You know, again, that Four of Cups is just an overall dissatisfaction. It's like, man, I see people in love all the time. I see people in relationships all the time. How come I don't have that energy? Now, right now, you might be single dingle as a Pringle. But I do think as you either older or you really get out into the world and the world opens up, you'll really find that people are constantly pining for your attention. You're just so busy feeling like you're missing out on it, or looking for something else, or looking for it to be shiny or prettier with that Virgo energy, you know, and this Pisces energy here with Temperance, Jupiter, Sagittarius. You know, there's this ideal that you're searching for that you fail to miss kind of what's in front of you. That's kind of what I'm seeing right now, the Ace of Pentacles. And there's just a security consciousness. There's an overall security consciousness that you have about your relationships. The Ace of Cups. Let's see, how does this affect you right now? We had a Flipper, the Hangman. I mentioned that Pisces energy right there, right under the Hermit, of course. And then what is this? The Chariot twice. So strong Cancer energy, could have Venus in Cancer, and the, what is this? The 8 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So we do have a lot of fast pace. I do think with the 8 of Wands here, there might be an impatience overall that you carry with love. And I'm being called to these blue birds here, where you're just constantly like on the move. You go, you have this fleeting energy, and then it's like, okay, well, that was enough of that, and then you leave. If you do have Cancer energy, or let's say that you have Venus in the 4th, Venus in Cancer, Venus Rahu, I'm also hearing. Cancer energy is very complex because it is the moon. And so when we get talking about the moon, especially the more that you learn and dig into Vedic astrology, you just learn that the moon is naturally unsatisfied with whatever it is. So if you have Venus in Cancer, there's just a natural unsatisfaction to your love lives. If you don't, then you just you have Cancerian energy in some way where like you want to nurture, you want to love. There's no end to the love that you want to give, but at the same time, you're so particular on who you give that love to, it ends up getting you in like these kind of tight, sticky situations. And I do feel like at times in life, you're kind of caught between, man, should I be with this person for stability, security, or should I be with this person because I actually love them and I'm attracted to them with the Ace of Cups? And you get stuck. And then at some point, you probably make an impulsive decision to go one direction. You're like, you know what? Let me go with security. Then you do that and you're like, dang it, now I want love. Then you find love. And then you're like, dang it, I love you. But like at the end of the day, you are an artist making $2 and I expect to live in the finer things. I'm used to a certain type of lifestyle. So I just feel like you're constantly kind of moving between those two energies. And I feel like, again, with this, you're always looking another way. So see like how the masculine is sitting here, then his back is turned, then his back is turned. I feel like you just do not look at the masculine, like you don't see them. Like they really, and if you're a feminine if you're a masculine watching this, then either you feel like no one sees you, you just feel like people don't really see to your core. I guess that's both. You feel like people don't see to your core, but if you're a feminine watching this, then you don't see people who are attracted to you. Like you're very dense when people have to be very aggressive if they want to really offer something. And I do think that you got the Tower, the Temperance card, the Ace of Pentacles, and the and the Hangman. So it's just like you end up. Another thing is kind of like Pile 1, you end up in relationships. I feel like all of a sudden you'll be talking to somebody, and you're like, okay, we're cool. And then all of a sudden, like, they're like, oh, well, we get married. And you're like, huh? Huh? Like, what? Married? Like, what? I wasn't even thinking of you in that way, or I didn't know that you thought of me in that way. And then once that ends up coming in, now you feel obligated, then you feel stuck. And then I do think that somebody almost inevitably feels like then somebody else comes along, right? With the Ace of Cups, the Tower card. So once you finally get comfortable and stuck in a rhythm of relationship, somebody else comes along. And I feel like you are more likely to like go follow that, especially with the Chariot card. Like anytime you feel stuck or caught up in a relationship, you're ready to move on. The other thing is like you just have energies who are sniffing up under you, energies that really like you and are very much attracted to you, but you're bored. Like even here, she's tied up and she's like, he's like crawling on his knees, so I feel like it's multi-layered. Like you have this, I don't want to say weird because it's not bad, but you just have this interesting energy where like you feel like you're missing out on all the fun of relationships, but yet people are constantly trying to get your attention, but that's not good enough. You're like, that's not good enough. That's not who I want. Like you're a person, if you have any online dating, like you run out of swipes pretty easily. Like it's like swipe, you ran out of swipes for today because you're looking for something very specific, but I don't know if you've been able to find it. You're always caught in between your financial security and just kind of like your passion, your love. Like I said, you've definitely made your rounds. You've had a lot of freedom. Like I said, my nose was itching. So I do think that you in past life have been the type to have affairs. Very like I don't know if it's like one of those things where it's like monogamy. It's like you are monogamous in your mind. You're like, if I love you, I'll stay with you. But if an opportunity comes to be monogamous with somebody else, and I just so happen to be monogamous with you, well, I'm not going to deny myself of another monogamous opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not polyamorous. You're not like I don't see you wanting to have multiple relationships. I don't get any real like Aquarian energy in that way. But I do feel like you are single and you're pretty much what is it, like single with a girlfriend, single with a husband, no matter where you are, single with a girl, yeah, single with a boyfriend, single with a wife, like you still are kind of out there doing your own thing, especially with the Eight of Wands. But I do think that you've been able to have some really great experiences through your life. So you'll have wonderful stories and you'll have wonderful love affairs, and they'll always seem quite random. But yeah, I just feel like you'll have like these flings. You've had intimate flings. So that's how it affects your current love life. So now let's look at the advice and like just genuinely how to overcome that, because at that, you know, I'm not really getting that that's necessarily a good or bad thing. You just have to decide, you know, if you want to settle down, then you have to set realistic expectations, right? Like if you want to be with one person, then you have to set realistic expectations. But I don't know. This card flipped out. I'm not taking it, but we have the Eight of Cups here. So we'll see how that ends up coming up. But oh my God. Let's see, pile one. What is their overall advice and how to overcome it? The Five of Swords. Oh my goodness. Overall relationship and how to overcome it. The Knight of Pentacles. Yeah. The Ace of Wands. Oh, not the Ace of Wands. The Page of Wands. And of course, I'll straighten these out. The Emperor is so interesting. That the Emperor came out twice. So I do feel like there is a masculine for you, but he's going to be different than what it is that you expect. The Four of Wands. Yeah. You got to be patient. I'm hearing the Eight of Pentacles. Wow. There's something here about grounding. The Ace of Wands. That's hilarious. And I knew the Ace of Wands was going to come out earlier. The Chariot came out in every deck. Strong Cancer energy, guys. Oh my goodness. Strong Cancer energies. Venus Cancers in particular, because this is a love reading. And so we got the Three of Swords, and then we had some of this fallout, Judgment, and the Ten of Pentacles. And we got the Queen of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Not surprised. So Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, definitely in this energy. You are very loving. You are very giving. You are really nurturing. You're also super playful is kind of what I'm getting. You have a deep intuition. And I do think that that's kind of what gets you. Now, I don't want to use the word caught up, but it just, you're always kind of just living by the seam of your pants. I feel like your advice to overcome this energy, if you want something more stable, you'll have to be patient and you'll have to let people grow up. Wow. Ooh, that's so specific. I was like, you really have to let people grow up. And it might be that when you're older, your soulmate might be younger than you, or like, you know, there might be a youthful energy to somebody that you end up meeting. You can't take people at face value. That doesn't mean that you wait or you make yourself idle, but there's certain maturing that has to happen that because you quit before it's done. Like you'll be working with somebody, and then they'll do something. You're like, you know what? Screw this relationship. By the time they actually learn the lesson, you then moved on, you know? So I feel like Spirit is saying invest with the Eight of Pentacles, put in work, you know? And I do think, okay, don't come for me, pile one. But I do feel like there's some work that you have to do too. Like there's some maturing that you have to do in this life. Like when you get into arguments and all the other stuff, arguments will follow you in your connection. But I do think that you'll have to ask yourself, am I being petty right now? Am I being childish? Am I just starting a problem just to start a problem because I'm nervous and I don't want to feel tied down? You really will have to look at that energy, because I am getting that Spirit is asking you that there's some childish energy in you too. You're not always coming at your highest vibration. Like I said, I do feel like there's a very manipulative streak in you. That's not good or bad. I'm not here to label, but it's just one of those things where if you feel like that's being reflected, especially with this energy here with the Chariot, it's funny because it's two in this particular deck. Normally it's one warrior, but in this deck it's two. So we got two. So you definitely will have a twin flame journey. You for sure are going to have a twin flame journey. Now, whether you end up marrying your twin flame, I don't know. But I do feel like if you have somebody who triggers you to a real, like on a soul level, you have to look at yourself. And if you're like, man, they're being so childish, you got to look and be like, how, in what ways can I continue to improve on myself? Because you are meant to have a long-term stability. I do feel that coming in, but there's a lot of transformations that are going to happen. Some of you could be married more than once, and you would like look at your first marriage and be like, oh my gosh, I was so young. Like, I don't know why I was like that. But I really do feel like your biggest advice is to let the masculine mature, let people mature, give people time, let people grow. You're so quick to be on to the next. Even this four wands twin flame energy, you're so quick to be on to the next. You don't let anything grow, and you will be the type to kind of end a relationship on something very like petty and like really end a relationship. But like, yeah, I stopped talking to him. We went to Dunkin', we went to freaking get Baskin Robbins, got some ice cream, and I clearly told him that I wanted butter pecan, and he came out with peanut butter. And I was like, see, if you listen to me, then we wouldn't be in this issue right now. So I blocked him. And people like, oh, okay. And again, it's because you have that Empress energy. You have options, but at the same time, like, is that a true reason to block somebody? Like, is that a true reason to cut somebody off? I just feel like your standards are very high. Now, there's nothing wrong with high standards. I am the main preacher for high standards, but there is an edge of unrealistic expectations, and I do think that you will have to check yourself before you wreck yourself if you want that long-term committed companion that provides both. You know, I do think that there's a masculine out there that will be able to provide both, but you're going to have to be patient. And like I said, this is karma. So you could go and blaze through this life too and divorce every man. You could be Elizabeth Taylor and get married and divorced 18 times. Like, you know, that's your option, but you will be back. Because I feel like your soul will really want to at some point settle down. Deep down, you know that you really want to settle down, but because of the movements and stuff that happened in your past life, you're not able to invest. You don't give fully to relationships. Again, I just feel like, and especially if the other past life readings for Pile 1 resonated with you, then you were stunted as a child before. It's not your fault. You know, you just got stunted kind of in like this adolescent phase. But it's just like, if you want to take responsibilities and step into this Mother of Cups role and all the other stuff and really have a long-term committed family life and all the other stuff, you're really going to have to, you know, dial it on back a little bit as far as like your expectations of others. So that's what I got, this natural dissatisfaction, but you will have to learn to compromise. You know, I do think that there's a masculine out there for you, a strong fire energy coming, Aries. He might have Aries Cancer mix, but there is a masculine that will be able to fulfill both of your desires. But again, he might come later in life and he might be younger and not be what you're expecting. So just be patient when that energy does come in, because I certainly see soulmate connection coming in for you. You will have the opportunity, as everyone will have, you will have the opportunity to correct this karma and settle into something, but it will require work, obviously. All right, so let's go ahead and move into our oracle cards. But before we do, I just want to say thank you so much. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Drop a comment. Let me know if this is resonating. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, that information is in the description box below. And of course, if you'd like to donate to the channel, which I super appreciate, particularly with these 18+ readings, I cannot monetize them. So if you like 18+ readings, then please consider donating. You're under no obligation to, but it does help. This is for Cash App, money sign, capital A, capital B, lowercase EV224. And then if you like PayPal, that is open too, in the description box. So I really appreciate if you have donated in the past, and if you plan on donating in the future. It makes a heck of a difference, guys. And that's $1, $2, or prayers, you know, all of it is great. So let's look. Oh wow, so you got 2 cards. So what is this? One more card for advice. So with these cards, I haven't read them out loud, but you could be reading them. But I do sense that you're going to be meeting a soulmate. You're going to be encountering a soulmate pretty soon. So take notes, right? You're going to be encountering somebody who really has potential to you're going to have the opportunity to be patient with them. So we got, my beloved, though we may be physically apart, spiritually we are always united. For love transcends space and time, nothing is missing. Yeah, I really do feel like you certainly have a twin flame. This is a confirmation. If you haven't met them yet, you do have a twin flame, and you're going to be meeting them soon. Now, twin flame connections are messy. That does not mean that you're meeting your husband. That means that you're meeting your twin flame. Totally different energies, okay? I've been expressing that. I'm like, listen, a lot of people don't end up with their twin flames because it's challenging. It forces you to grow. But I do feel like you might marry your twin flame and then, you know, go through this learn, grow, grow and then meet another person down the line. But there is somebody, and I do think that you care very deeply for one another regardless of how the relationship plays off. I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news. I'm just trying to be here giving the news that I got. But you got, give thanks for the blessings of love soon to come your way. Know that you deserve to be and have all that your heart truly desires. And this right here, this is a great card for your karma because it's coming soon, right? With that word soon. But the other thing is, it's like you deserve to be in a fully committed relationship. I feel like through past life traumas, you've got it in your head that like, there's a perfect ideal person out there that is without flaw, which is, again, kind of stuck in that Disney princess mode. But also because things were taken away from you, all you've had was your imagination. But now it's time for you to really open yourself up to love, because there is somebody who's going to be deserving and giving for you. But you have to give it to yourself first. So this is also calling you to, you know, for self-love, and know that you really do deserve to be in a long-term committed relationship. And then when you pass from this world, you take nothing with you but your soul and the memories you have shared with those you love. And I think that this is so important because money, resources has always played a factor into why you don't end up with the people that you're in love with. And I do think that, you know what I'm also getting very specifically, in past life, you've gotten energies where you've met, so you've been in a relationship with somebody who was already established. They were taking care of you, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You were bored as crap. Then you end up meeting the other person, you know, probably your twin flame soulmate person, and you're going back and forth. Y'all two were falling in love, doing the dance, That person was probably not very successful when you met them. So you cut them off because you were like, I need to keep the money. And then after you broke up with them, they ended up getting their shits together and they ended up being worth more money than your original dude was. And you're like, dang, like all you could do is be like, shiz. If you were patient, it would have been with you. But so I just get that energy here. So you'll be able to correct that karma with this person. I just feel like you're going to meet one of your options to marry, right? You have options. When they're at kind of a lower point than you would want them to be financially. But Spirit is saying if you're patient with them, not making yourself idle, as you're continuing to grow, but if you're patient with them, then you'll be surprised at how successful they end up becoming in the long run. Be very careful. Yeah, unrequited love, let go of control issues. Unrequited love just gives me that 4 cups. Like, I just feel like there's always a dissatisfaction with those around you. Very soon, what did I say? You're going to be meeting somebody very soon, and it's going to be worth waiting for if this has taken some time. New love. Yeah, pile 3. And then love yourself first at the bottom of the deck. So this is really interesting. So you are about to meet somebody. This karma is about to kick off pretty soon, so you're going to feel it. So please flag this video, in particular pile 1, because this is going to play a role in your life coming up very, very soon. So just make sure that you're patient with people, and yeah, that's what I got for you. So again, thank you so much for joining me. Please don't forget to check out that description box, guys. Peace. Until next time, pile 1. Let me know if this resonated. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and move. Put this back. All right, let's move into pile number 2. Hello everyone, it is AD with Kosmostrology, and I'm going to be doing your pick a card reading. So this one is about your past life love relationships. This is an 18+ reading, not because it's a sexy reading, but because I am using my sexy deck. So please be aware of that, of the imagery in this video, all right? But today we're specifically going to be looking at what were your past life love issues, how it affects your current love life, and then your advice and how to overcome it, okay? And again, when we're talking about karma, these are options. You have options. You can choose to do this or not. I'm going to tell you the pattern that you develop within yourself and give you options to correct those if you so choose. But, you know, one thing that we have noticed through these readings, if you stuck with me in past life readings, you know, the same energies play out over lifetime. So you have the option to make the same choice that you made every lifetime and then earn yourself another lifetime. So here we go. So it's so funny. So we're starting off here with the 4 of Wands. So there's a key. So let's look into it. I'm kind of hearing that you might have specific karma with a specific energy. I'm not going to hold myself to that right now, but with that 4 of Wands, normally that is a twin flame card for readers. So it could be. And it's so funny because the group before you had the 4 cups. So it's interesting to see that double 4. I need one more shuffle. And so, yeah, so this is what were your past life love issues in general for pile number 2. I'm sorry if I was calling you pile 1. I can't remember, but this is pile 2 for sure. Let's see. We got the 3 of Wands here. So what were some karmas from your, what was all the, you know, your karma's past life love? Yeah, the 4 of Wands. Okay, the King of Wands. I do feel like there's somebody specific. The Judgment card. We'll keep digging into it. I'm not gonna, I will bite my tongue. The Queen of Cups. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio represented. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius represented here. Again, please remember I do subscribe to Vedic, so my placements could be a little different. I do recommend that you know both charts. We got the 6 of Pentacles. Woo! Trust issues. I'm hearing mad trust issues, okay? These cards came out in the past deck. In the past, should I keep them? No, I'm going to stick them back in here. They'll come out if they're meant to come out, but I don't feel like those are for you. 6 of Pentacles, the 10 of Cups, King of Pentacles, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, the 8 of Wands, and what are your past life energies? So I definitely feel, okay, wow, so a few cards came out at the tail end, so let me find it. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, the King of Cups. Wow. Ooh, okay, I'm going to have to tune into this. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Tower. So in your past life, there's a lot happening. Okay, let me, this is a lot. Give me a second. Yeah, the 4 of Swords. Like, that's how I feel. The 4 of Swords. And then we have the Magician card that kind of snuck out. So we'll see how that plays in. So give me a second. I definitely feel like male, woman, feminine. And again, if you've been following throughout the, you know, if you've been following pile 2 and your other past life themes, I do feel like you were extremely attractive, right? So there was definitely always people vying for your attention. But because of that, I feel like you bring in really controlling and like people who just have mad control issues. They always think that you're doing, ooh, what is this? Okay, so I'm getting like this really interesting energy. So in your past life, I feel like you were down for anything, girl. You're like, yeah, let's do it. Like, I'm cool. Like, it'll be fun. We should be able to explore and go into do these adventures and da-da-da-da-da. And then people end up being like, oh, wow, this person's really cool. They're super free. Well, then once you get into a commitment, then they're like, wait, is she still doing all that? Is he still partying like that? Like, you know, who is this person with? So it like switches. It's like the very things that attracted people to you in the first place now they're scared that you're doing it with other people and you can't really, you know, hold that. We got Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio represented here. You know, all these fire energies, all this possessive energy. So I do imagine in your past lives, multiple people wanted to possess you, male or feminine, you know? So let me tune into let me see what else I can get from this. You definitely in a past life were in some sort of, and maybe they were not trusting with reason. Pile 3. So I definitely get this energy and I'm focusing here on the outside corners. It's kind of like, yeah, wow. Oof, okay, I got the download. There was 3 different people, 3 totally different people that you were in love with. Now, I feel like the first person, there was somebody who you probably loved when you were younger, and then that situation that ended up moving out. So there was somebody out here, a King of Wands energy that you really felt super connected to, that made you extremely happy, and then they left. Then you were kind of left with these 2 options. So you got a Knight of Pentacles and a Knight of Cups. And somebody was financially giving and somebody was kind of emotionally giving, and you were caught in limbo. So definitely like an affair. I feel like these were long-term affairs, but this first person was who really had your heart. But once they left, you still needed to get married. You still had to you know, you still had to go through the rest of your life. And so then you were just kind of Frankensteining these 2 connections together that offered totally different experiences. So somebody was very like financially supportive, but you know, maybe they were pretty cold and detached, and then you had somebody who was emotionally supportive, but their finances weren't together. So you were constantly between like this pitter patter, and you felt like this one person had it all. They were the one who really had it all, but they left. So maybe that's an energy that follows you in this lifetime, where there was somebody who they could have passed away at an early age, or they just moved and you lost contact, but your soul is tied to that person. But you do end up encountering other soulmates. So it's like you do have a twin flame, but then you encounter your soulmates, and then you kind of end up doing this dance. So that, like I said, there's this always constantly looking over your shoulder. And I do feel like in your past relationships, all of your other connections were aware of one another, even if they didn't know. I'm hearing Stevie Wonder, Part-Time Lover, like they were aware of one another, but it was just something that was not brought up or discussed. But I do feel like you were able to find happiness in both connections. So maybe in this lifetime, it's really hard for you to settle, but I really just feel like, there was an energy here where you were constantly being spied on, but again, like with relatively good reason, because I do think that there was another connection that was coming there. But in that, there was still a loneliness and an isolation with the Four of Swords here. Like you felt trapped in your connections. I do feel like that's kind of why you had a little bit of freedom in all of your connections. Regardless, it's just because you felt very trapped. You felt like, dang, I want to explore, I want to travel, I want to do, but like I feel bogged down not only by one energy, but two energies, but I don't ever want to give myself fully to one person, because then that means that I'm like stuck like Chuck. So I kind of get that energy, a little bit. Let me see, is there anything else that Spirit would like me to know about your past life love issues? But they're definitely, you were always with somebody, and then there was somebody else on your heart. You know what I'm saying? And then you would get with the other person, and then you'd be thinking about the other person. Like it was pretty split down the middle. And we got this Strength card, so the Leo. So I do feel like in this past life in particular, you certainly required a lot of attention. You probably require a lot of attention in this life. Doesn't necessarily, that's not a good or a bad thing, but let's say that your Venus is in Leo, your Lilith is in Leo, or both of those are in the 5th house or aspecting the 5th house in some way. So I just imagine that like you require a lot of attention. You need multiple people to kind of be pining after you in order for you to feel kind of complete and whole. Yeah, the 6 of Cups. And that attention didn't fill this original love that was taken away from you. You see what I'm saying? Like you were like the type of person to have fallen in love when you were, you know, in middle school. And then kept up with that, you know what I'm saying? So I do get that energy. So that seems to be like your past life love connection. Just seems very active. Multiple suitors, require a lot of attention in order to feel whole. And that's not a good or bad thing. You know, I'm coming from the universe unbiased. But that's just the karma. So how is this affecting you in your current love life? How is this affecting you in your current love life? For pile 2, woo, woo, woo. The 5 of Pentacles. I'm getting a download, but I don't want to start saying the 10 of Wands. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start saying it. I do feel like because you had so many other options in your past life and were unsatisfied by them, it's really taken a long time for you to find somebody who makes some type of sense for you. Just because it takes a long time, because you have to really appreciate the people for the people that you're with, not necessarily appreciate them for what you want them to be, which was, you know, somebody else, right? You compared them to somebody that the 7 of Cups was never going to exist, you know, in this past life. So this might follow you in this life. Karma follows, you know, as I was saying to somebody, when they were like, oh, this life is the same. I was like, same shiz, different lifetime. Like, same shiz, different lifetime. The 6 of Cups again. There's just this nostalgia that you cling to. It just seems like all the relationships were better after you leave them, but when you're in them, you don't like them. So I feel like you have Rahu or Ketu in your 1st or 7th house. You have Rahu, Ketu affecting your 7th house, which means that you're either constantly looking for another relationship, feeling, or you're just completely dissatisfied all the time with all of your relationships. The Hermit card, that's so funny. I was about to mention pile 1, and that's similar to pile 1. So, and this card was the heart of that reading. So I definitely am getting that energy here. All right. How's this affecting you? We got quite a few cards. The 3 of Pentacles, the 9 of Cups, and the 5 of Wands. The 8 of Cups and the King of Wands. And I want one more. What's the bottom deck? We have the Knight of Swords. Let me see. Who is this? The World card. So in your current life, the 2 of Wands now. So how does this affect you in your current life? I really do feel like Spirit excuse me, I'm not stumped. I just want the best way to word this because I don't know where to start is kind of where I'm going from. So, okay. I know where to start. All right, let me straighten these out. Just a little bit. They still be crooked, but you know, I try my best. You got to clear your energy with the Ace of Swords here. I do feel like emotionally, energetically, you still carry that love for that King of Wands energy. So again, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, doesn't have to be, but there's somebody who you've just built up. It could be your own father, right? For some of you guys, but you've built some person up in your mind or some ideal. It could be a character on TV, you know. I don't think it is. I think that this is a real person, but you really put some energy on an energetic like pedestal. And because you haven't let that relationship go, because you haven't cleared that energy, it's impossible for you to get what you want because you're not able to appreciate what's in front of you. These people that come towards you, they have different energies. There's this very much shoulda, coulda, woulda. If it was this and if that worked out this way, then I would be in this situation. I feel like Spirit is really telling you with this energies to walk away from that. Cut it. Cut it. The World card. Close that cycle out. Do not get caught in past relationships. One of my favorite songs, and I mentioned it if you've ever got a personal reading with me, one of my favorite songs ever, and it was everybody's favorite song, was Somebody That I Used to Know. And it took me a long time to really understand what that song was about. But when you listen to that first verse, and he's just, now and then I think of when we were together, like how you felt, how you said you felt so happy you could die. I told myself that you were right for me, but I felt so lonely in your company. But that was love, and it's an ache I still remember. So I'm really getting that, like, with that particular lyric, it's like he was in a relationship with this new woman, but he was so focused on the achiness of a past relationship, he never took the relationship that he was in into consideration. So by the time the girl came in on that second verse, Kimbra was like, excuse me, sir, like, you want to know what I remember when you were leaving me on red, when you were not coming through, when you were on that bullshit, you know? I feel like you attract people who do that to you. And sorry, but it's a karma reading, so it's going to get real. You also are that person. You are that person who is so in the past of your other relationships that you compare it to all these past relationships and you don't really tune into this new energy, the fresh energy of the blessing that's ahead of you. So you really have to clear this energy. You really have to work on just clearing good or bad. And you know, that's what I'm reading too. It could have been a relationship that was really, really bad. I put emphasis on a good one, but now that I'm talking about it, it could have been you're protective and you're defending yourself against a relationship that was really, really terrible at first with the King of Wands. And so now you just can't get over that. You can't get over that relationship was so bad. So it'll depend on, you know, where you fall in that spectrum. But I feel like, look at this, the 5, 7, 3, and 5 again. So there's a lot of outer conflicts that kind of mess with your energies. You just feel super isolated. Again, this untrustworthiness. You attract people. And the 5 of Pentacles in this deck, it like is a love affair. So you attract people who are who don't trust you. There's always like this energy on the outside looking in. People who are just very much possessive of you. But I think if you looked at yourself, of course, and you would find and recognize that you possess those same qualities, that I feel like some things you have to learn how to communicate. I know that's going to come out as your advice. You really need to learn how to communicate on how people can work with you. Because I do feel like you end up attracting quality people, but because you're so focused and so like, oh man, if it was this or that, blah, 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 you never communicate your thoughts. So then they don't know how to work with you. So then you do end up in these kind of, other relationships, outside affairs, because you haven't fully addressed what the issue was in your current relationship, because you feel so left out. Look at this. You're so, oh. I'm not trying to be funny, guys. Like, I'm really trying to be, but I don't know why my guides are so aggressive with your message, but like, you can get so focused on that was my person and they're gone. And if they were still here, let that go. I don't think that was true. I don't think that it was true in your last lifetime, and I don't think that it's true in this one. So this might be the same person, the same energy that you've encountered, but Spirit is very clearly telling you to clear your energy and don't get so fixated on the past, and learn how to communicate what you need from your partners in the future, so you don't feel like you have to kind of go sneak around. Because the people with this 9 of Cups, the people that you attract really want to work with you. They do. They just feel like they can't touch you. They feel like you're in another realm. Like you're the type to just be sad looking out the window, and they're like, well, what's wrong? And you're like, nothing. And you're thinking about some dude, in freaking kindergarten, sorry that was so harsh, but that's just, and that's not a bad thing. It's just the karma, guys. It's just the karma. But I get that energy. And if it doesn't resonate, then definitely check out Pile 1. Because it was a little different, but some of the same energies. And you know what? Never mind. I had to kind of come for Pile 1 a little bit too. I'm excited to do Pile 3 because this is karma. So these are your lessons. This is what you're supposed to be learning and quote unquote fixing and re-curating, right? So now let's look to your advice, how to overcome the 7 of Wands here. So how to overcome these karmas. Time. That's so funny. So the 10, the Wheel of Fortune, the Hangman. That's just the 2 of Swords. The 7 of Cups again. Yeah, you might have Lilith again. You might have like a Lilith in Pisces, or you just have some very like watery placements in any of your 3rd, 7th, 1st, or your 11th house. I'm hearing specifically the Sun card again, Leo energy coming through. The Moon. Wow, that happened in another deck. That's so interesting. Not in this one. Yeah. Wow. The 10 of Cups. You know what? I was just getting that. And is that the star? I'm going to take it. I saw it and I was going to take it. Because now that sorry. Got the Queen of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Now that I feel like I had to, not drag you, but like really had to have a stern talking to. For this advice, Spirit is really being very kind. So you actually are going to have the potential to truly pay off this karma with that King of Wands, with that original King of Wands person. But the catch is you gotta let go of that King of Wands person first. So you're going to encounter this soulmate. Like I said off the rip, there's a twin flame energy here with the 4 of Wands. And then we got the Sun and the Moon card. So you are meant to be in a solid, committed relationship. But you have to learn how to communicate. You have to learn how to not set this expectation. Because it's feeling like, oh my gosh, you're so caught up in how this relationship happened in a past life. You'll be looking at this same person in this new life and you'll fail to recognize them because you're so busy looking backwards. I hope that makes sense. Because I do feel like this person is going to come in towards you. It's divinely orchestrated for you to meet this King of Wands character again. You're going to meet this King of Wands character again. You're going to get your wish fulfillment with this person. You've waited for them for lifetimes, like this is a very powerful connection. But I just feel like you didn't appreciate them in a past life. And so now you're coming and hopefully you'll be able to appreciate what they're giving. Follow your dreams, follow your intuition. The more that you tune into your intuition and the more that you clear your energy, then you'll start to realize that things change. I feel like from as far as like this karma and all this other stuff, hopefully that spiel, that tangent that I just went on, is hopefully able to clear up some of the Seven of Cups energy that's surrounding you, because you really are about to welcome in a karmic connection, the 7-7 to the 10. So you're about to welcome in this person, and the star card, Aquarius energy represented here. So I really do feel like you're going to end up getting what you want, but you have to clear your energies from any of your previous connections. From this lifetime, from last lifetime, you need to start over at 0, my pile number 2s. And really continue to not take mess. I don't think that you do, but I am hearing, you know, protect your energy. You're in a very fragile space right now, and it's because you really are, I feel like you're a spiritual person regardless. You're here watching this reading, but you're becoming more powerful. And so this is kind of where you're most susceptible to getting kind of off course. So I just feel like your off course would be reverting back into that coulda, shoulda, woulda, if only that person would have worked out. Again, and that this could be a phantom of a person that you've always dreamed of, or it could be a real tangible person that you've existed. But you're about to encounter your soulmate, King of Wands, again. And as that happens, I do think that you will find yourself in a very powerful position to get what you want. But you really have to learn how to tune into yourself and your own intuition again. Yeah, you got to open yourself back up. You got to open yourself back up to receive that energy. Don't get focused on the past. Do not stay focused on the past is what I'm hearing. You got to look forward. You got to move forward regardless, whether it be the perfect relationship or the worst relationship. It's time for you to clear that energy, start at 0, and welcome this new energy in, because you're going to have this opportunity here, you know? And I do think that whatever connection you end up, it will be long-term. This is a divine masculine that you're going to be encountering for sure. Whoever that King of Wands energy is. But it is interesting that they didn't pop up as the Emperor. So I do want to say, with that energy, your person is coming back. But 2 things are going to happen. 1, you're going to realize that they weren't the Emperor that you thought that they were. And 2, you're going to have to be patient and let them build to that. That is also a part of your karma, because it was unfulfilled in y'all's last lifetime. So you're about to encounter, you know, a past life karmic partner. For real, who I think, so I do feel you're headed into kind of this long-term connection. Anything else? Let me see if there's anything else for my pile 2 people. Is there anything else that Spirit would like them to know before we move into oracles? The 9 of Swords. Yeah, you really got to look at in the 2 of Wands. So the 6 of Wands, and what is this, the 2? So a lot of 2s. So we got 2 here. So you might be seeing the number sequence 222 is kind of what I'm hearing. Or 29, 26, 29, 26 is kind of what I'm hearing too. You know, you're going to have a lot of options that are coming towards you. You're going to be presented with 2 people pretty soon. One of them is the King of Wands. One of them is the person that you've been searching for. The other one is a test. And so you're really going to have to close your eyes and use your intuition to decipher which one is which. So this is kind of a heads up that you're about to come up with 2 people, and it's going to really take a lot of faith and a lot of courage for you to believe that your intuition is correct. Because if you end up quote unquote choosing wrong, which I don't believe in that, but if you end up choosing what you actually don't end up wanting in the long term, congratulations, you won yourself another lifetime. So be patient with the process. You really have to learn to see people clearly for who they are and not for who you want them to be. And that speaks for your divine counterpart that you have and this kind of karmic energy that you're in. So I really do feel like there's some options coming in for you. You're meant to get your wish fulfillment and whatnot, which is absolutely beautiful. But at the same time, you know, your karma is changing. It's changing. And so you're having to really let go and release of any of those past energies, past life love energies, past energies from this lifetime, and start over at 0, because you're about to encounter your soulmate and there has potential for success. I'm telling you, but you have to choose that. It's not guaranteed. Nothing in this life is guaranteed, but you're very, 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 very close. Pile number 2. All right. So that is what I got for you. I am going to pull some oracles, but before we do that, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram if you haven't already. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, that information is in the description box below. And I am bringing out my Cash App card, guys. Thank you so much if you've donated in the past, and thank you for even consider donating. If you like these 18+ readings, I cannot monetize these. So if you do like them, then please, and you are available to, then please donate. This is Cash App, $, capital A, B, lowercase EV224, or PayPal. That is in the description box below. But I would love it if you can donate $1, $5, or even a prayer and positive energy. I accept all forms of currency. But yeah, that really does help. So let's move into your oracles and get you out of here. This reading is running a little bit longer than I thought it was going to, per use. But you know, let's get into it. I really love to clear karmas and all the other stuff so then we can enjoy life. Like, it's not fun to learn everything. Wow. Acceptance is the key to inner peace. At times we must accept things as they are. There's no point in trying to change, which is beyond our control. And I feel like this is in regards to all of your relationships. Yeah, in your past relationships. In your past life, you definitely had an affair or two. And I feel like, you know, that's what you're about to enter into. If you end up choosing the person who provides stability or provides like that love and they can't do both, then you might end up having affairs again in this life. But you definitely are going to get married again. I can tell you that. It just depends on how you want, you know, this next part to look. How you want it to look, you know. But I can say very clearly, Pile 2, you're destined to be in a committed connection. It's just going to be, is it karmic or is it going to be, you know, a twin flame love? So trust. Transformation occurs through acceptance. Once you accept the current situation, it will automatically transform. What is up with this acceptance, guys? You got to accept things as they are, you know. Again, it's that shoulda, coulda, woulda. What is that? What did I say? That shoulda, coulda, woulda. It bites you in the butt. And then secret admirer. Someone has deeper feelings for you than they are letting on. I really do feel like your masculine, that King of Wands energy, and they might not be a fire sign. That's just how they appeared in the cards. But somebody does have, they might be already in your realm of awareness and you might not recognize that. They're a lot closer than they appear. Like I said, this is a very soon energy that's coming up. Time. You're trying too hard. Give it time. It's a matter of time before you meet this person. And then twin flame at the bottom of the deck, your passion ignites. So you'll recognize this person very, very quickly. This person is coming in pretty freaking soon. Of course, it's going to differ for everyone, but let me tell you, this will happen. I would say I would put it like within the next 4 weeks to 4 months. If I had to put a time step on it, depending on when you find this reading. But yeah, you'll hopefully... You'll be able to recognize them, the past life relationship. Yeah, you're about to encounter this person that you've been missing so bad. Playfulness, you know, keep it open. Again, fire energy represented there in attraction. It'll be an automatic attraction. You will know them. Engagement, religious factors, and then one more. Wedding. Oh, that's, wow. Forgiving and learning. Very soon at the bottom of the deck. Boom. I'm trying to tell y'all how to. This karma's about to be unlocked. Perfect timing for these daggone readings, you know. New love, wedding, and forgiving and learning. So you are definitely coming to battle, to duke it out with somebody from your past life, for sure. Remain playful up top. I do think that this situation could possibly lead to marriage. Sorry, I'm just moving the cards around. This could lead to marriage, especially with religious factors here. Like, you're about to get remarried pretty soon, within the next few years. I can say that. Like I said, it just depends on who you want to, and you got to follow your intuition. So you got some new love coming. You got a past life relationship coming. This is all happening very soon. You got some decisions to make, pile 2. You pick pile 2, so right in the middle. But yeah, there definitely is marriage and stuff coming in. But if you don't already know this person, you will really soon. You'll know very, very soon. Some of you might already know them. You I think that's my twin flame, but I'm not sure, but it's about to happen. So that is what I got for you, pile 2. Again, thank you so much for joining me. Please don't forget to check out that description box, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think of this reading. And so let's move on to last but not least, pile number 3. Hello everyone, it is AD with Kosmostrology, and I'm going to be doing your past life reading. So this is if you picked pile 3, guys. Welcome. Friendly reminder, this is an 18 plus reading, not because it's a sexy reading, but because I am using my sexy cards. So this is just something to look into. We're looking at past life relationships. We're looking at your past life love issues, how it affects your current love life, and then we're looking at overall advice and how to overcome it. So again, karma is filled with choices, options. You're not bound by this reading by any means, but this is just highlighting, the first two piles have been super interesting. So this is just highlighting where you've had issues and where you can improve upon them, because you are going to be faced with the same energy that you were faced in the last lifetime. If you didn't master it, that's why you're back, right? And you also have a choice to not master it again. I am leaving this pretty open, so some of you might be coming with somebody in mind, or you just like trying to get a general love life reading. It's different for both of the piles, so this is a mixed bag. Let's go ahead and hop straight into it, guys. So we are starting off here with the 8 of Pentacles. Strong work energy. I don't know why I just saw 10th house in Capricorn. So you might have Venus in the 10th house or Capricorn energy, Venus in Capricorn. Please remember, I do subscribe to Vedic Astrology, so my placements might be a little different than yours, but the energy should read about the same. But with the 8 of Pentacles, there's definitely work involved. Work. So let's look into it. And it's so funny because all the cards we have 4, 4, and 8. So all of them have been derivative as 4. So you, pile 3, might be a combination of the first 2 piles with it being 8. So that's really interesting. Something to note. But we'll see if that plays a bigger factor. So we're looking in now into your past life love issues. The Queen of Swords. The 2 of Wands. Okay. Oof, the Hermit. This is so funny. The Hermit card has made an appearance in every reading thus far. And not from this deck, though. So that's interesting. So what are kind of your past life love issues? The Judgment card. The Emperor popping up in the middle. And again, if you've been following my past life love reading, you've been pile 3. It's been very apparent that you were possibly a masculine in your past life. So yeah, we'll see if that theme continues. And it looks like it might. The Emperor has not come out yet in this section of the reading for the other 2 piles. So let's look. The Queen of Pentacles here. So is your past life love? The Magician. That card has come out in every reading. I'm not gonna take those. Uh-oh, there's one that flipped. We have a flipper! We have a flipper! Where'd it go? The 7 of Cups. All right, and at the bottom of the decks we have the High Priestess. We love it. So I will say you very much in your past life kept to yourself. I do imagine that like you had lovers, but you did not commit. I'm getting a very non-committal issue here, especially with the Emperor being in the middle. And this 2 of Wands, you kept your options open, especially if you're a masculine. You made sure to just keep your options open. There were people who challenged you and stimulated you. I don't think that you had issues with getting the opposite sex or whatever, whether you were masculine or feminine. But I don't feel like I feel like work was more important with the 4 of Pentacles here. Like it was like, okay, cool, whatever, great. You know, but I do imagine that in your past life, you did garner a lot of control. So there was definitely, there's definitely this air here of like, you were able to really dominate, but you were really focused on resources. The 8 of Pentacles coming out. You were just so focused on your own stability, that I don't know if you necessarily entertain relationships, but you always had at least, I hate when I bend these cards. Sorry, it like bothers me. Seeing it pop up, but, you always had people in your arm. You always had people around. I'm hearing that Drake line, once I loved you, I've always loved you. That's how I was raised. I do feel like even if relationships were to dissipate in your past life, you would still keep up and probably provide for the people that you were in a relationship with at one time, especially with this Emperor being in the middle. You were certainly a provider. So I guess even if you're a feminine in this life, the way that it plays out is like you just provide for yourself. You're a boss. You work for your own. But I do imagine that you did not like to be, again, tied down. Like if somebody distracted from your work or your coin or your ownage, then you were like, whatever. But I do feel like there could have been two people in particular, two women in particular, from a past life, or two energies in particular that you really liked, and you kept an eye on them, and you kept up with them. But at the same time, it was from a distance with the Seven of Cups. Notice how she's bathing and he's like in the mirror in the background. You may have been married, but I just feel like you were so focused on your own empire. Yeah. Interesting. That was pretty straightforward. So again, we have the High Priestess at the bottom of the deck, just tuning into that energy. But I'm getting like you didn't really have much of a... Love was not your priority in your past life. It really wasn't. The Page of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles. Oh my gosh. Pile 3, this is so funny. So I'm imagining that you have a lot of Capricorn energy, Taurus, Virgo, 10th house, 2nd house placements, also 8th house. I'm getting what's the other earth house? I did or the 6th house, Virgo, but specifically 2nd and 10th, because I feel like you wanted it on a world or grand scale, but you were not focused on love. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we have the Ace of Wands here at the bottom. You had lovers. You had lovers. You were putting down with this wand energy. So I really do get strong masculine energy, but you did not commit. I just feel like a really non-committal attitude from you. You focused on work. You were way more concerned with your own survival than you were with other women in particular. But if you liked a woman, you would keep up with them. Or again, it doesn't matter how it felt. But if you liked someone, you kept up with them. You made sure that they were taken care of. But as far as that love thing, is there any cup energy? The 7 of Cups, which is the up in the air energy. It happened in your imagination. I feel like you didn't want to ground anything. Can we look into this Death card? Can I get one more card to clarify this Death card? Oh, okay. Or 3. That's fine. We'll take it. The 4 of Wands, the 3 of Cups, and the 8 of Wands. Okay, so yeah, the 3 of Cups. You weren't lonely necessarily. You just, like with the 3 of Cups here, and if you see, no, it's a man here, and these are 2 women, and this deck is a trick bag. Like sometimes it's the woman with multiple people, sometimes it's the man with multiple people. So it is worth noting that this is the man with multiple lovers. So I do feel like your masculine energy, you just had different women, but I do feel like there were 2 that you didn't think were dispensable, but you couldn't really decide between the 2 of them. That offered different energies. This kind of resonates with Pal 2. But you were just like, whatever, as long as I'm secure and they're kind of taken care of. Maybe you were polyamorous or you were just married to multiple women, but there wasn't a lot of love there. It was more based out of responsibility than love and anything else. But I do feel like it was death till death do us part, the 8 of Swords. For some of these connections, if you love somebody, then you always love them. You always made sure to keep up with them, is what I'm hearing for sure. But interesting, very work focused. All right, so now let's move into how it affects your current love life. Ooh, I'm really interested in seeing this. Ooh, that's my trick. Is my man. That's Doja Cat, bottom bitch. And I feel like you had 2 bottom bitches. Like I really do feel like you had a lot of power. And you had 2 women in particular who like really held down the fort, and you made sure that they were cool, but like it wasn't a whole bunch of love. It was more strategy. It was more out of convenience. You were so, with that Scorpio energy, it was survival oriented. Oh, but I didn't emphasize that enough. You were a freak a leak. Hey, like, you know, you got around when you wanted to get around. You were very satisfying, very sexual, very intense, and again, very possessive over these people that you were with, but at the same time, you weren't really trying to like be in a loving, committing relationship. You were definitely like, your love language was acts of service. Like you were not super touchy-feely. That's wild, Pile 3. That's so funny. Let's look into it. But it makes sense. If you watch the other past life reading, it makes sense. You were pretty much on your own. So we start off here with the 9 of Swords. So how does this affect you in your current relationships? Oh, we'd have the Knave of Pentacles. Look, work. The 2 of Wands. It takes you a really... the Devil. Oh my gosh, the Ace of Pentacles. It takes you a really long time to open up. I feel it takes you a very long time to open up. Pile number 3, the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah. And you still are about that bag. The King of Wands. We got the Hierophant, Taurus energy represented here. The Four of Cups. And then we got these two, the Seven of Pentacles and the Two of Swords. You're very hard to satisfy. But at the bottom of the deck, we have this Ten of Cups energy. So how does this affect you in your current life? I feel like you still do the same thing. What did I say? Karma. Life just repeats itself. I feel like you find stability when you work hard. When you're working, you try not to get into relationships. That's kind of how you distract yourself from loneliness. You're like, look, it's definitely workaholic. Like, you might not be the drugs type, or you might be with the with the devil card here. Again, we're not judging here. We're not, this is just a reading, but I get this energy here where you just find more comfort in being able to establish your own business. So even if you're a feminine or a masculine in this lifetime, you work very hard. Super Capricornian energy. I mean, it takes you a long time to learn to trust because you don't want to waste your investments. This devil Capricorn energy, Taurus energy here. Like, you want something super long term, and until you find something that is long term and committed, you're okay just like whatever, Four Cups, unsatisfied. Somebody really has to get to know and talk to you in your relationship. That's really how it affects you. It takes a very long time to kind of crack you open. Even in this reading, I can say pile 3, my other 2 piles were a lot more, there was even more detail, if that makes sense. Like, you're getting the messages, but this is very even clean cut, straightforward. Like, you still are not playing. Your energy does not play. You will sacrifice love. You put love on a back burner for a check. So I do think that you're gonna, then we look into your advice on how to overcome it. You're gonna have to decide if you're hiding when you work, if you're like hiding behind love, or if you really want to embrace it. Because I just feel like you have mastered this masculine energy as far as being able to take care of yourself, being able to keep your options open with the Taurus there, with the 2 women. Like, you know how to have different people. There's constantly people vying for your attention and all that good stuff. But if they're not helping you or not bringing any bag or bringing any money, then you are really not interested. Like, you really have to see value in someone. The thing is, it just takes you a long time. You see how unsatisfied she is? Like, here, I want to give you this rose. And she's just like, eh. But at the same time, she's teasing him with her foot out a little bit. So I feel like you might have this energy where you kind of, it's very playful. I'm picking up on, like, you know, Gemini energy, Pisces energy, Virgo energy, a Sagittarius, any of that mutable signs where, like, you'll say one thing out of your mouth, but then you'll do something else, you know, like you'll flirt with people, but you have no intention of really investing in that connection because you know that at the end of the day, you're looking for something really solid. At the same time, there is a fear of commitment with the 4 of Cups to the 9 of Swords. There's this fear of this commitment that you want with somebody else, right? Because you know, oh my goodness, I don't know why this happens, pile 3, but my chair just starts squeaking like crazy. But I'm really hearing Beyonce, Me, Myself, and I. That's all I got in the end. That's what I found out. But I feel like you're too hard on that. I feel like you really like Me, Myself, and I, and nothing's even happened. You just have braced yourself to live your life on your own. This also affects you, this Devil, the Knave of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles. Again, do we have any cup energy other than the 4 cups, which is dissatisfied? That's so interesting. Like, you just, the love. What's love got to do with it? Hold up. What's love but a second-hand emotion? But that is why it's at the bottom of the deck. And if you have not seen the Tina Turner documentary on HBO, then shame on you. You should absolutely see it. Highly recommend. But back to your reading. You deep down, you want all of it, the 10 of Cups. You want the love, but you will put that on the back burner because you're like, love does not pay bills. It doesn't. I need to be security. You're so secure, conscious. So I imagine that, like, you kind of do this on again, off again thing with your lovers, your partners. You keep them on their toes. They keep you on your toes, you know. But I do kind of feel like when you don't get into love, you might overindulge in with this devil energy. You can either kind of drown yourself in, like, food in particular is what I'm hearing. Like, you might be I'm not so much getting drugs and alcohol. It could be, but you either, like, spend money and live very lavishly to kind of fill that hole, obviously, because you have the money, so spend it with this second house energy here. But I also feel like you could be like an emotional eater. So when you don't encounter love, you'll fill it with other things that you can buy. So you're like, listen, I'll just buy happiness. just buy it. But I do think deep down, you know, you want that long-term connection. The 5 of Cups here. So again, disappointment. The 4 of Swords. Anything else for how this affects your current love life? Yeah, I just feel like people come and pursue you all the time and you're just like, not super satisfied. The Knight of Swords. I need some more. Please, Spirit. That was the Emperor who tried to pop out, but he didn't fully pop out, so I'm not going to take him. I also get with this masculine energy, either from this lifetime or the like you really don't want to be dominated or controlled. So that also is a reason as to why you make it a point to like live on your own, because you don't like people telling you what to do in relationships, in life, in anything. So it's just easier to just be alone sometimes. The Judgment card. The 7 of Swords, and then the 3 of Swords. Okay. And then we have the Queen of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Oh my gosh. So how does this affect you? Again, 1, you keep a lot of secrets. Pile 3, you keep a lot of secrets. Was it you who had the High Priestess at the bottom of the deck? I can't remember. But you also are a heartbreaker. You break a lot of people's heart. You leave a lot of people kind of like, wondering what could have, should have happened. They don't know why you're distant. They don't know why you're detached. And again, it's just because like you'd rather focus on work. If work is involved, you're not bothered with these people. And I do feel like this speaks to a very deep pain with this 5 of Cups to the Judgment card. So I have a feeling that it's more complex. It's very complex. Obviously, as to why you kind of feel like you have to survive or why you're on your own. You just feel very unsupported. And so nobody can really match. You just know that you can trust yourself. That's how it affects you in your current life. You know that you can trust yourself and you're not afraid of kind of like rejecting other people. There's something here with these imageries of, know how there's in both cards, there's people onlooking, this connection. So I get this energy here where like you're always subject to people's opinions in your love life. Like it might be that it's in the spotlight with the Judgment card here, or it brings a lot of attention or something, but there's some dichotomy here with like not being able to tell people about your connection, but also people being very curious about your connection. That's interesting. I'm not sure how that's going to play out. Let me see. Is there anything else that I can get on that? I don't want this reading to run too long, but your reading's a little bit different. The Empress. So, okay. All right. That's what I'm getting. The 6 of Pentacles, which is boredom. You have a lot of energy. Again, masculine, feminine this lifetime. You carry a lot. You have a boss energy because you just make it for yourself. You work. You truly, 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 truly work for everything that you have. And that is your priority, is your own security. I'm sorry. I know I keep saying that, but it's just the truth. And so there are a lot of people who admire you and look onto you and project these images to you. But I also feel like most people don't say anything because they're super intimidated by you. They get that energy. You radiate that. If you're not talking money, I don't want to talk. If you don't have your shiz together, then do not bother. You just radiate off that energy. So people look at you, they spy on you, they want to be able to control you, they want to be able to dominate you, but they do know if they don't have anything to back it up, well then it's over, you know. So I do feel like there's love, that it's love in and love out, and it ends on like these unresolved because, you know, the masculine, in particular for a feminine, the other party isn't going to tell you like, hey, look, the reason why I'm leaving you in red, the reason why I'm not communicating you is because I'm not ready for you. You really command a lot of attention. You really are a boss and I can't keep up with you. They're probably not going to say that. You know, they're just going to kind of go away. And I feel like you're just kind of left with what? And then eventually they make their way back crawling and you're like, well, you abandoned me when I needed you. Hence why I don't trust people anyway, because you're never around when I need y'all because I'm so busy being a boss and like working on stuff myself. So nobody's around when I need them anyway. So I feel like there's always like this dance, like there's constantly people looking at you, constantly people eyeing over you. But again, nothing stable has come through. That's how it's affected you in your last life. And it could be because as like you in your masculine form didn't ever commit to women, right? So your karma is just kind of like, now you as a woman meet all these masculines who don't want to commit, right? So you can attract masculines who are really work oriented too, who need their finances and stuff to be together before they feel comfortable in a relationship. That could be one way that this karma plays out, is what I'm hearing. but very fascinating. So now we're going to look into your advice and how to overcome, but I can see how that'd be frustrating. Like I said, I'm normally a pile 3er myself, so yeah, not fun. And again, I'm not sure if I said it, but please, if you've been keeping up all this whole week, thus far, I know this is a timeless reading, but this whole week has been past life. So please check out the other past life readings because they really help give a context. So how can you, how can you overcome? Why is the Ace of Pentacles the first card out? The Six of Swords. How can pile 3 overcome? The Ten of Wands. Oof, the Hermit, the Seeker in this deck. The Eight of Wands. So there is something here about movement. Let's keep looking into that because the Six of Swords and the Eight of Wands both symbolize movement. Transformation, Death card. Oh my gosh. How can pile 3 overcome their karma? The Three of Pentacles. Not surprised to see that there. Not surprised seeing that you need to learn how to work with other people, right? You're so strong. Yeah, what is that? The Five of Swords and the Five of Pentacles. Okay, I'm gonna have to tune in this. And the Eight of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, reflecting the Eight of Cards. So let me see. Ace of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles. Shiz. How can you overcome this? I don't want to say I'm stumped, but I am seeing like things have to change. There's two things that your location has to change, your mindset has to change, your money has to change before you are even able to open up yourself to receiving any type of love and affection. The Seven of Swords here. Shiz, Spirit, what what do you want me to say? I'm a little stumped. The Five of Cups, not helping. What are you referring to, Spirit? Let me see. And the Page of Wands. What is this? The Libra card. Thank you, Libra. I was like, I feel like, okay. Okay, pile 3. So this is a little bit different kind of advice because there's stuff that's changing. You're about to receive some sort of information. Again, we got the King of Wands here. He popped up in the first, the Seven of Swords, and the Five of Cups. So you're having to you're having to release. You're having to transform. There's so many changes that have to happen in your day-to-day life before you can even embark on this journey is really what I'm getting. Again, I just feel like to not contradict, but just to go back, your main focus right now is your work. Your main focus right now is your pentacles. I do feel like there will be some information that you'll be receiving from an emperor, not an emperor, a King of Wands, somebody who you could have been dealing with in the past that was involved in a third-party situation. If this resonates, they're leaving that third-party situation and they are going to be reaching out to you. That's coming through. So that will make a difference. That will make an impact depending on where you are in your journey. Some of you guys might already know your twin flame. You might know your karmic. If that's the case and you've been in no contact with this person, they will be reaching out. They do have some secrets. They do have some things that they want to reveal for you. If that does not resonate with you, and it won't for everyone, and that is okay, I do imagine that there are some major shifts that are about to be coming in your work life in general. So you haven't really, you're still building through this karma, is what I'm hearing. There's some major transformations that have to happen because you haven't been feeling, So it's interesting because with pile 1 and pile 2, they're really at the precipice of kind of unlocking these journeys, unlocking these this new phase of life that's coming in. You, pile 3, you're still working on yourself. You're still working on building that empire. You're still working on building your your connections, your network of people, really learning how to solidify yourself long-term with this Pentacle energy. You have information coming in. Perhaps you've been going through a dry spell within your work, or you've just been lost within your work. You're in the middle of this transition. And so then you're going to be able to build that empire. Once that empire is fully built, then you're going to incorporate then you're going to encounter this karma, because you're going to be faced with the decision on, do I continue providing for myself and focus on money, or do I step into a more feminine role and be a receiving end? Because there is a King of Wands that is going to come for you, but you're just very work oriented right now, and that, in Spirit is saying and encouraging, that is your main focus. You have to do that first before this next connection comes in, but there will be balance. Yeah, to the Five of Wands, the World card. I want to see if there's any more energies that I can get. So I'm sorry that took a little bit of time for it to come out, but yeah, I feel like this energy is reading different than the first two piles. You still have some personal work to do, because you are an emperor, you know, regardless. You are an empress. You still are in the middle of building. So if you're not, you know, like I said, I usually resonate with pile 3. You know, I'm not anywhere where I want to be with my numbers or anything yet. So I haven't even encountered this energy yet. It's not going to happen, because if a man came to me tomorrow and was like, hey, let's be together, I'll be like, sure, you be doing me a favor, right? You want to help me pay off these student loans, daddy? You know what I'm saying? But I do think that you have to kind of do that first for yourself, pile 3, just because that's who you are. You're not going to do it another way. You don't take handouts, right? The Ace of Wands. And you're about to embark on this new chapter. So your reading kind of turned into a little bit different. So you're about to have some major developments when it comes to work, the Chariot, the Three of Cups. And I do feel like, yeah, your life is about to change. Your social circle is about to change. The Seven of Wands, there's a lot coming at you. The snake in the back, snakes represent knowledge, so there's a lot of information and knowledge coming towards you pretty soon. So you're about to be in like a whole different environment, new people, there's a lot of changes that are happening around you before you can start to kind of overcome this karma. I feel like you know this about yourself, pile 3, and this will be a karma that will have to be addressed once the energy is kind of cleared with any romance. And if you have somebody in mind that you've been dealing with, yes, that person's going to make an appearance. But I also feel with the Chariot to the Three of Cups, there's also going to be other people involved. So you're going to have quite a few people, like I said, pining for your attention. You already do now, but because you're not where you want to be, you can't even look to see anybody else. So I have a feeling, pile 3, your readings are going to develop more over time. You're still in that transition. So yeah, so of course I'm going to move into your oracles, but before we do that, I do want to say thank you so much for choosing this channel. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Check out my TikTok, check out my Instagram, and if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, then follow me on Instagram, guys. You know, if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, then please check out the description box. And then shoot me an email. I don't know why I mentioned Instagram, but yeah, I just get this energy here, pile 3, where you definitely are in the midst of all these big changes. So it might help to get a personal reading, just because I feel like there's a lot going on in your life right now. Like love is still on the back burner. Even though love reading, it's still on the back burner because there's other stuff that has to happen before you can even embark on that journey, which is totally cool. I think that you're happy to hear that, honestly, because work is going to pick up for you. You got new friends, new social life coming in for you. It's beautiful. But I am bringing out my CashApp card before we get into the oracles. I lost my train of thought. So I am bringing out the CashApp card, guys. This is if you like to donate, if you are willing to donate. This is an 18+ reading, so I cannot monetize those. So if you like 18+ readings, please be sure to support either energetically through prayers or through a couple of dollars. But, you know, under no obligation, absolutely. So this is for CashApp, $, capital A, capital B, lowercase EV224. If you like PayPal, that information is in the description box below. Can you tell that I've been running my mouth and I'm like losing it? And I did not have coffee this morning because the lines were too long. But yeah, sorry, pile 3. I'm sorry that I'm a little fried. But we're almost done. We're almost done. So let's look into your oracles. And guys, thank you so much for joining me. I so appreciate y'all. Let's look into your oracles. What energies for past life, overall advice, romance, Cupid arrow strikes. Yeah, so in the midst of this, like, you're building, you're about to meet a new social circle and all that other stuff, and then you're encountering a soulmate. I think I said that. I was like, you're about to meet somebody else. So you have that twin flame that's going to come out, reveal some things to you, yada, yada, great. Still not putting any money in your account, being honest. Then you're going to meet somebody else. So you two are in line of meeting somebody. That was in all 3 piles. I was like, great timing for this past life reading. So hopefully you can notice the patterns that are playing out freedom. There is nothing stopping you. The path is clear if you want it to be. And you're single. Like, I'm picturing that Empress energy. Like, you really, or Emperor, depending on whatever your gender is. You are just living your life. Like, you have so much freedom there. You have so many admirers. You have so many people that are coming towards you. And those who are brave enough to make their presence known, you're really going to stand out. You know, you're really going to take note of that, because most people genuinely just are not brave enough. But again, with all these informations that you have coming towards you, you still have a lot of freedom. It'll be interesting, pile through. I feel like you're a mixed bag. Like, either you'll kind of be like a Rihanna, which, I mean, she hasn't been married or divorced yet, but she's really focused and geared towards her, her business. It'll be interesting to see if she gets married. She may not. I hope that she does if that's what she wants for herself. But some of you guys are not going to get married. Some of you guys are going to focus on your business, and you're okay with that. You'll always have freedom. You'll always be able to travel. Other people, it might be a little bit different, but I do see that you probably are the most like, I don't need to be in any type of connection. Deep down, I think you do. But just on the surface level, you will pick work. So you got manifesting miracles. Your dream is soon to become a reality. Trust your heart and continue to follow its guidance. Yeah, some of you guys are about to meet a new soulmate. I feel like this is a new person, pile 3. I do, like I said, there is a person that you've been dealing with who you're probably going to hear from, and that information will move that connection forward. But there is somebody else, and you will have freedom of choice and freedom from choice, right? Reflection. Give each other some space at the moment. Trust and have faith that it will all work out for the best. So there's that twin flame energy. Like I said, space. There is a connection on hold. I feel like there's one more. Okay. Your relationship with one another is about to deepen. Love conquers and transforms all things. So I feel like you've been manifesting both, right? You've been manifesting clarity from this person, if that resonates from you, so you're getting that, and you've been manifesting a relationship that's stable and solid that you can invest in, so you're getting that at the same time, and you have the freedom to, you're not married to anybody yet. I feel you're still growing, you know, I get that so strong for you, pile 3. You're still growing. You are not tied down or answering to anyone. You will not be locked down anytime soon until your account and you are solid in where you want to be, period. These people will either help and catch up, or they won't. And I don't think that you are sorry about however that happens. But we got stay optimistic about your love life. So don't forget it. You know, you are going to be meeting somebody who's great. Wow, true love. You do have a true love that's out there, especially if you're a feminine. Calling in your soulmate. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, you're about to meet somebody, pile 3. And the more that you focus in on work and just navigating these changes that are coming in towards you, you'll feel a lot better about where you're headed. Worth waiting for. Engagement, reconciliation. So again, there's an energy here. You're going to be reconciled with somebody. It's been worth waiting for. And this one is like your love life ascends to a higher level of commitment. So it doesn't necessarily mean engagement, but with that twin flame energy that I kind of got, you'll have a deeper understanding of one another. Perhaps you've been waiting for this energy for a long time. That'll be great. And you've been waiting for your soulmate. So I do believe that you have a twin flame, just in general, but you specifically, pile 3, you have a twin flame and you have a soulmate. You're about to encounter a soulmate, and then you have your twin flame, and that energy is kind of moving right along. So let me see, is there anything else before we let it out? Flirt, have fun, and new love. Oh my gosh, it is safe for you to love. Oh, I love this. Pile 3, like you too. This reading actually turned into like a future love reading, which is so great. So I'm happy if you watch this, because all the piles were super dope. But yeah, you're about to meet somebody else. You're about to encounter a new love. It is safe for you to love, because I feel like you've just been so protective of your resources and who you are. Both of these energies, your twin flame and your soulmate who are coming towards you, they're both safe for you. There's work that has to be done, but I do think that on yourself with relationships and them, whatever, because if you're so work oriented, you do have to cater to your relationships, right? Like, particularly if you're a woman, they need attention. Just like women need attention, like they need attention. So you can't be working all the time. So those will be your later karmas. But just as far as we are right now, the screenshot when this reading finds you, you are definitely about to embark on this beautiful romantic journey with 2 individuals, with 2 different people who fill you up in different ways. But you are going to be moving towards engagement. I feel like you're not going to be single regardless of how this plays out, pile 3. You're not going to be single much longer, single in the traditional sense. You'll have people who are vying for your affection, but I don't think that you'll be settled down because you're still in the midst of building your own. But you got 2 blessings that are coming into you with love. And I think you get 2, right? I think you get 2 because you're so focused on 0. You're like, I don't freaking care. I really need this to happen. But true love does exist, and stay optimistic. I do think that both of these connections are loving. So we'll probably have to do another reading down the line. What do I choose? But don't worry about it. You know, you have freedom. Do not worry about it. It's going to play out. Everybody involved, I don't know why I'm being called to say this. Everybody involved in this connection has signed a soul contract to be in this connection. And I do think that you're an energy that's worth it. So it's not like you're necessarily playing 2 fields at the one time, but both of the energies that you're dealing with know that they have to work for you, and they will put in that energy towards you. And they, at the end of the day, they know that you're going to have a choice, you know? And you might be connected to both of these connections forever, right? You might be friends with one of them forever and marry the other one. I just think that there's different ways that this is going to play out for different people. But both of these people truly love you, truly cherish you. And again, if this is resonating at all with any of the other past life readings, it makes sense because it was such a heavy energy of being orphaned. So you really require this super loving energy. But I do think that you choose work for the most part. And that's your karma. That is your karma. So it'll be interesting as life transcends and as you move into your own working thing and you really have manifested your own self to your highest extent. You see what I'm saying? It'll be really fascinating to see down the line what you end up choosing, because you will have their options. Okay, so that's what I got for you, pile 3. Thank you so much for joining me. Please let me know if this resonated. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and peace, guys, until next time.